Hello, you're listening to ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined today by the official anti-AI geek, Sean.
Oh, that's so easy. I couldn't be more anti everything that you seem to enjoy about AI. Down with it all, like the I don't know. Down like the First Order. Down with it all.
It's turning into a teacher's best friend, so I'm kind of liking it.
There's something about it where I want it to be productive for me, but anything where it's trying to like create things is just gross and slop.
Well, that's the voice of our logo limit enforcer, JJ.
Yeah, that's right. One logo at most. Then any more than that, Disney, and you're playing with fire.
On t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
Or shot glasses, or mugs, or popcorn buckets, anything.
In today's episode, the Geeks dive into the area of data-based touring with author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World, Becky Gandillon. Few guidebooks have stood the test of time quite like the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Long before lightning lanes, crowd calendars, or even online dining reservations, travelers were turning to this handbook for the inside scoop on how to make the most of their Disney vacations. The Unofficial Guide has built a reputation for doing something few Disney resources dared to do: pair a love of the parks with data-driven honesty. As the internet ushered in an era of Disney blogs, YouTube channels, TikTok influencers, all offering their own best tips or secret strategies, the Unofficial Guide continues to be grounded in hard data and extensive testing. Even with the constant changes to Disney's technology and park operations, the guide remains one of the most trusted resources for proven strategies that actually work. Today, we're joined by Becky Gandillon, the author of the newly released 2026 Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. In our conversation, we're going to dive into what goes into creating the Unofficial Guide, how that data shapes modern Disney vacationing, and what insights Becky has uncovered for 2026. And stick around after the episode. We've got a special giveaway where you could win your own copy of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World and a touring plan subscription.
Ooh, I didn't even know that.
No?
No. Is there a chat I missed? I don't know, but that's cool. They have another group text without me.
I'm on it.
Before we go any further, I just got to say, I think that was the best I ever did on one of those.
That was pretty awesome.
A round of self-congratulations.
Congratulations.
Getting a name right. Insane work.
Sets you up for success.
It does.
So, Becky, thank you so much for joining us here today. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to talk to some fellow geeks about Disney.
Yes,
that's why we do what we do.
Yeah, the last episode we did, Andrew prefaced by apologizing to the guest by saying, "Oh, we're going to call you a geek." And we're all a little bit of geeks. We're doing this on a Thursday night at 9:00 Eastern. We're all a little geeky.
Right. Yeah. I analyze Disney data as my hobby. Yeah. There's nothing more geeky than that.
And we read it as our hobby. So, so before you started with the guide, were you a Disney adult, Becky?
I sure was. I was a Disney kid who grew into a Disney adult. We grew up going to Disney World about once every 3 years when I was a kid. Always stayed at the All-Stars. That was pretty spectacular. And then when I grew up, got married, my husband had only been to Disney World once, and it was when he was 5 years old. And his only memory from that trip was that he was not tall enough to ride Space Mountain. And I knew we had to address this deep trauma in his life. And so took him to Disney World for the first time for our first anniversary, stayed in the Little Mermaid rooms at Art of Animation, keeping that value streak alive. And then we've been going ever since. Not quite as frequently as we get to do now. We can talk about that a little bit later. But I just really love the Disney parks as not only an escape from the realities of life, but also somewhere that has such depth of storytelling. And I really love being able to discover new details no matter how many times I go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's real.
There's always something to discover there.
And a great answer.
Always something new.
My wife also only went when she was 5, but the thing that she remembered was being scared of the Haunted Mansion and then getting off it and loving it. And she remembered eating something called a beaver tail in Canada with her father.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
about
a good
it.
one.
What is the beaver tail?
You haven't heard of the beaver tail?
No.
It's iconic.
Yeah,
It's probably in one of the old guys. I don't know.
it's like a flatter, more whole version of like a funnel cake. It's like cinnamon sugar on a big piece of like fried bread.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But it's like a Canadian chain. It's like the Canadian Auntie Anne's or something.
Okay.
Right.
It's not just a Disney thing. Okay.
No, it's not a
never
Disney
heard of
thing.
this.
It was or is a chain
Wow.
in Canada. Yeah, it's
Right.
like a mall food court thing in Canada.
Okay.
I particularly love when you say that you always find new things, Becky, because your last trip, not that we were stalking you or anything, but
It's called research right now.
It is. Right. You had to know so we can converse. Yeah.
Your last trip, which it seemed like a work trip almost, but at the Wilderness Lodge, you guys found so many small details that I had never known about.
Yes. This was something really cool that now I'm just going to recommend to everyone. It wasn't a work trip. It was very much a escape trip. My work trips to Disney consist of testing my strategies in the park and going and standing in lines. We did not even touch a park on this weekend. We just stayed at Wilderness Lodge. Now, I did get ahead on my 2027 book writing, but that's relaxing. That's my hobby. So we did this Wilderness Lodge stay, and it was a club level stay. The first time I've done a club level stay. The math will never math on club level stays, but it was a nice splurge, even knowing that the math does not math. But we went on the art and architecture tour that they offer every day at 9 a.m. We went on a Saturday, and on the weekends, a man named Alan hosts it. And Alan is a Legend Award cast member. So if you ever see the cast members with the blue name tags, they've won the Legend Award. And it's a very rare, very prestigious thing.
Cool.
And so Alan is a recent honoree, and he told us everything about Wilderness Lodge, from the backlot tour stuff is in the Boulder Ridge Villas pool, the rigs and water towers. I didn't know that. I'm a big backlot tour fan, so that was really cool. We got the whole story of Boulder Ridge, and we got to see the actual train cars from the railroad that Walt Disney built in his backyard in his home in California. We got to see hidden Mickeys. We got to see the murals in Artist Point that everyone ignores now because Snow White is there. It was just very, very cool to see all those details.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Wilderness Lodge, that might be the gem of resorts.
Yeah, having the most detail and the biggest backstory, definitely.
Oh yeah, the backstory is
Definitely.
insane on that one.
Yeah.
Yes. So many layers, so many levels. I love, my personal favorite is Animal Kingdom Lodge. And again, the theming there, huge. And where are you going to are you going to get
It's a
giraffes
showstopper.
outside? Right. You can't beat that. But for combination of theming and location and convenience and like Wilderness Lodge,
Right.
can't beat it because it's right there by Magic Kingdom and it's got all that depth of things.
Yes,
too.
exactly. Yes.
True, like Eisner era of everything has to have a ridiculous story. Like I love it. Yeah.
Maybe the next CEO will be as obsessed with these insane details. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
We can hope.
I don't know if the data will back that up, though, that it's worth it.
No, exactly. That's why we keep losing things like Times Square Island and etc. Yeah.
So how did you learn that data analysis fits into Disney World and theme parks?
It was back when I was working my first job, which was not in data. I'm an engineer by training, biomedical engineer, and that was my first job working for the VA, the Veterans Health Administration. And I was starting to learn that I could use data to do my job better there. And eventually my full-time job became data. But I was also starting to go to the Disney parks as an adult for the first time. And on quite a strict budget and not wanting to spend time in lines, trying to make the most of my time there. And my boss at the time, actually, at the VA, said, there's this site where you can use data to help you plan your Disney trip. I think you would really like it. So he introduced me to touring plans, and I just started using it for my own purposes, my own Disney visiting purposes, used the crowd calendar to figure out when we were going to go. The first trip we did was on our anniversary, which is in April, which is not a super uncrowded time to go.
Yeah.
But after that, we started visiting in September some more. When those crowds are low, started using it to plan what rides we were going to visit when, and then really just dug into the data from there to just start planning more and more trips for less and less money. That was the goal.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom's been using the guide since basically it started. I told her that I was interviewing you, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, is Len still there?" Like she like I'm like, "Yeah,
He sure is.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, he's in charge."
Yes.
They're
So
saving the
owns touring
china for
plans.
when Len comes to visit.
That's right. As they should. He would appreciate it.
I feel like figuring out how to do, everyone who likes to go to Disney as much as we all do, the first thing we like to do is figure out, how can we do this as cheap as humanly possible? How can we do a 3 or
Right.
4 day stay with X amount of budget? And I think I got pretty good at it about 10 or so years ago. I would do like 3 nights at Pop Century and 2.5 days in the park, fly at unconventional hours on different airlines, and you could get in and out for X amount of dollars. But fortunately, as we all get older, we get up, our budgets grow a little bit more. But if you can master Disney on a budget, it's perfect.
It is perfect. We all start podcasts and write books to fund our Disney habits.
Right.
So we can go more often. But Disney's expensive, and that's not fair. So that is the main reason that I keep doing what I do.
Yeah.
'Cause I want more people to be able to go experience it, and gotta make it accessible for people of all budgets.
Yeah, and it's as everyone's been talking about it, for the past month or a couple weeks, the price increases and prices keep going up. So it's even more important to have resources like you who are looking to help make things accessible for, middle class and, people that just don't want to spend $10,000 on a single vacation.
Agree. Yes. And this is why we're the unofficial guide, because it's what Disney doesn't want you to know. They want you to part with all of your
Right,
hard-earned
right.
money, and we're trying to help you not. People ask me all the time if Disney invites me to things or gives me things. I'm like, oh no, I am the last person they would ever give anything. I am their enemy. And that's okay. That's okay.
That's a good segue into the next question here. And it's what is the process of making one of these books, and where do you begin the next year? What is the planning process look like? What does the stage of development look like for one of these guidebooks?
Oh, here we go, friends. Are you ready? Because it is a sprint and a marathon all at the same time. So I just started work on the 2027 unofficial guide. Typically, how this works, and we're in October of 2025, mind you. How this works, I get my new contract every September. I do not make cajillions of dollars writing the unofficial guide. Like I said, this is my hobby. I get a research budget. That's what I get. But I have to propose what that research budget's going to be every year. So that process happens in September. Then I get all of my old editable chapters from the year before in October. So typically that handoff happens in the first couple of weeks of October. I get all of the finalized 2026 chapters this year so that I can start editing them. From that point forward, I've got 600 pages to edit and update and add things to and delete things from, whatever. That the vast majority of that work happens in October, November, and December, which if you have a family, those definitely aren't busy
Tough.
months for anyone here
No,
in the United States.
holiday
So
season. That's
Right.
easy.
It's totally fine.
It's chill.
It's really chill. I work my full-time job. I go to all the school events for my kids, do all the holiday things, and then I stay up after they go to bed and write the book. That's basically what happens. I run away to Wilderness Lodge for a weekend to try to make more progress. Then my due dates. So a third of the book is due January 15th. A third of the book is due February 15th. A third of the book is due March 15th. So I have to deliver essentially 200 pages on each of those dates, and they're my quote unquote final copies. But then from March 15th to April 15th, a chapter at a time, I will get back from my copy editor in a PDF version actually laid out like it will be in the book. And so in that month span, I get every chapter back one at a time, and I have to edit it, add anything that Disney has changed, and catch my own typos. I have to turn each chapter around in about 2 or 3 days to get them all done in that month. Around April 15th, I get the whole book in a PDF, and I have about 2 weeks to read through it all again and try to catch every single thing that I can catch. And then in early May, it goes to print. So the 2027 unofficial guide goes to print in early May 2026. And from that point on, I kind of get a break until I start up again in October. But the difficult part is Disney changes a lot of things frequently. So my very first year writing the guide was the 2025 edition. We went to print in early May, and in June is when Genie Plus got replaced with Lightning Lane. And the book was already actively being printed. So, stab to my heart. This was like my third born child. And when it arrived, I went through and counted. Over 170 pages were out of date before it published.
I was just going to ask, like, has Disney ever, because Disney is famous for just like on a Wednesday morning, just dropping news. Yep. Have they ever just like completely foiled your plans? And there's the answer.
Yes, that was a big one. So the 2025 book got terrible reviews early on because people were like, this doesn't even tell you how to act. It has the wrong system in it. And yes, it did. We made a digital companion that told everyone the right things about Lightning Lane. But it is very difficult if any major changes happen between May and when the book comes out in August, much less when the actual year starts that it's meant to help you plan for. There's nothing you can do about it other than blog about it, write a digital companion. Books are very thoroughly researched and very fun to read. They just can't be timely. It is not physically possible.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole environment has changed since it first started. It no longer is the strategy, choose the left lane because most people are right-handed, right? Like that was something that was, when people realized that, they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like that's right. Child's play now.
Yes. Now too many people know there's too many. But there's always ways to win. There are still ways to win.
Way more complicated though.
Way more complicated than just going left.
Well, let's talk about that. Like, what's the best way to zig when everyone else is zagging for 2026?
For 2026, it's a very high level zig when they zag, but people haven't picked up on it yet, or they have picked up on it and they're just not willing to act on it. It's you should visit in summer. No one visits Disney World in summer anymore. My family spent 3 weeks there this summer, but around July 4th is actually almost the least crowded time of year now. Still, Labor Day-ish is the really least crowded, but shockingly empty parks this summer. Now, there are reasons for that. It is the surface of the sun in Orlando during the summer, so you have to be prepared. You have to have your own strategies. But the parks this fall have been miserable because they're so full of people. I have gotten messages from families who are like, we went to the Magic Kingdom just to see the parade, and the entire route was full an hour before the parade started. They weren't letting anyone else anywhere on the route because every spot was taken an hour before the parade. No. You can go in the summer and just hop on the parade route whenever 10 minutes before the parade starts. So the biggest zig when they zag, just go during the summer, be prepared, have your air-conditioned ride list to get on. But that's the biggest one.
Do you think that Disney is, for lack of better words, do you think that Disney is okay with this? I think this summer people can attribute the low crowds to Epic Universe and people wanting to go to Universal. Is Disney okay with having a down season, or are they going to think about monetizing future opportunities to maybe make the summer more popular again at Disney? Because that seems to be the thing. People are like, well, if you can deal with the 110-degree temperatures, go in July because there's no one there.
There's no one there. They want to change it. They absolutely want to change it. They tried to do it this summer with Cool Kids Summer. They
Which was
recognized
awesome.
Epic is going to be, Cool Kids Summer was great. Like, more of that. So low cost, so low effort,
Yeah.
but so high return for families with young kids. And the reason they did that was because they recognized the threat that Epic was. Now, statistically, Epic has had almost no impact. We can think
Really?
about it having an impact, but Epic still isn't even up to half of its capacity. Universal is keeping its attendance very low because there are still such significant operational issues. And so on any given day, Epic is not having more than 20,000 guests.
Wow.
And
Wow.
if you look at 20,000 people in the lens of how many people are at Disney World every single day, it's beans. Like, it's
Wait.
it's not making much of a
So,
difference. But
The lines are
we'll
that
see.
out of control there, and they're only letting
Yes.
20,000 people into the parks?
Yes. We could do a whole other podcast on Epic.
Okay.
Seriously.
Well,
Oh boy.
And just for
boy.
just for
Wow.
comparison, do you know the capacity of, like, say, Magic Kingdom?
So Magic Kingdom, here's a good hard number. The average Christmas party or Halloween party at Magic Kingdom, which isn't anywhere near Magic Kingdom's capacity, is 30,000 tickets. So
Whoa.
there are fewer people in Epic on any given day than there are at a Halloween party at Mickey's Not So Scary. Your
Wow.
average Magic Kingdom day is 60,000 guests. Your most crowded Magic Kingdom days can be up to about 100,000. So there's a
Wow.
lot of people. There's a lot of people in Magic Kingdom.
so when you're in Disney World on spring break and you're like, wow, it's crowded.
There's 100,000 people in Magic Kingdom that day. Maybe.
Right.
And then even Animal Kingdom will have more than Epic Universe on any given day.
Wow.
So it's not making a huge impact yet.
Well, that's progress for you.
Becky, how often are you in the parks to finalize your ideas and to test your theories, your strategies?
I live a very blessed life now as the author of the Unofficial Guide. I am typically at Walt Disney World about once a month. That's what I average if you take a whole calendar year. And those are not week-long vacations every month. It's typically about 24 hours where I'll take a real late night flight down after my kids are in bed, do a day, maybe do another night if I'm lucky, and then take the very first flight back to St. Louis out of Orlando and be back home before my kids get on the school bus the next day. But I'll get down there about once a month so I can experience each season. My time in the parks is typically very focused, so that I can best use that research budget. So I'm staying at resorts very specifically that I haven't stayed at in a while, if ever. I'm going to restaurants that I haven't been to in a while, or that are new, or that have had significant satisfaction changes or big menu updates. I'm testing the touring plans that go into the book or the strategies that I put on my Instagram page so that I know that they actually work. These are not vacations. And people laugh at me when I say I'm doing research trips, and they're like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, no, really, this is not what my Disney vacation would look like. I really am. It's the best kind of research. I do have a blast, but it's not a vacation. So, but once a month, Disney habit is not too shabby.
No,
I'm loving it.
That's pretty good.
And you mentioned your Instagram page there. It seems like a natural plug for Raising Mini Me's, which is your handle on Instagram.
That's
which is
right.
Amazing work on that, providing great data. Where do you get all that data from?
Yes, so several data sources. Number one, my own experience. Number two, surveys are a big deal. So unofficial guide readers and touring plans users all fill out surveys after their Disney vacations, and that's where we get a bunch of the satisfaction data for attractions, restaurants, resorts, etc. But then also the touring plans, they have an app. They also have just a whole ton of behind the scenes data, which is where I get all of my data. They are gracious enough to share it. And they have things like in their app, you can time your actual waits in line. We get about 1,500 of those timed waits every week. So we get that real data, very fresh data about how much time people are spending in line and where. But we also have Disney data about all their posted wait times. If you have the Disney app on your phone, you can see any wait time for any attraction at any time of day, no matter where you are in the country. It's very easy to store that data. So we have millions and millions and millions of data points. Yeah, millions of data points about posted wait times. And that's how we get information and how I get information about how to optimize your day, the best times of year to go. That gives us those big picture, best in-park strategy type of information. So that's where I get most of my data.
Who amongst us has never looked at the My Disney app at 2:00 on a Wednesday and said, "What's the wait time for Guardians of the Galaxy right now?" You know?
Yes, every day.
Yeah.
If I left my house right now, where could I have dinner tonight?
Right.
Right?
What are the flights out of Iceland? How late could I get there?
Yeah. Is there a reservation at Summer House? Like, can
It's funny. My wife and I love timing our weights on the lines, and we make it into like a little bit of a game. Like, how many can we do in one day? And even timing. There's an option to time your lightning lane weights, which I always think is like kind of silly because it's only like 2 minutes or something like that. But that must be good to know, like how much you're actually saving by getting these lightning lanes.
Yes,
that's been changing.
Yes, there you go. That's what I was going to say. It gives us the data to say lightning lane weights are going up and standby weights are going down. So that is, ever since they revamped DAS, the Disney's Disability Access Services, since they revamped that, lightning lane weights have been going up because they're not prioritizing that flow as much because they're not as busy as they once were, and standby weights have been going down as a result. And so lightning lane is not as good of a value as it once was. Wah, wah.
But a win for the regular person.
Very much so. Like, just go stand in standby. You're going to be fine. There's
just wait in the line.
Just wait in the line. There's this whole phenomenon that I coined a term for, and it's not a great term, but I am just sticking with it, and it's wait time inversion. And so what happens is, all throughout the summer and during low crowded times of year, the lightning lane system gives you FOMO. Like, you have to purchase it in advance because it might sell out, and you don't know if the park's going to be crowded on that day or not if you don't have all of the data. And so tons of people will buy up lightning lanes for very popular rides like Rise of the Resistance. You see this with the lightning lane single pass attractions. And so then the day comes, the park is empty, it's dead, but a bunch of people have already bought the lightning lane. And so lightning lane weights don't go down, but the standby weights are zero.
Yeah, 25, 30 minutes.
Everyone that wants to ride it already bought a lightning lane. So there's no one in the standby lane. But then you'll see, so Rise of the Resistance is a perfect example of this. You'll see a 20-minute posted wait for Rise of the Resistance because everyone's already bought the lightning lane. Millennium Falcon next door will have a 75-minute posted wait because people didn't buy their way out of that. They didn't buy the multi-pass. They only bought the single pass. And so it's all out of balance all the time because people don't know, and they're just buying their way out of the lines when they don't need to.
So would you recommend buying multipass?
Sometimes.
Maybe.
Here's my asterisk. I'm always for not buying anything, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather just not buy anything unless I really have to. Even multipass is so expensive when you've got a family that's going and you have to buy it for multiple people. I would buy it at Magic Kingdom easy. Because there are so many rides that you can use it for, and they're all relatively close together, so you're not going to go out of your way to go redeem your things too much. I don't like using it at Epcot because you do have to walk like half a mile to go redeem your lightning lane if you don't line them all up right. Hollywood Studios is a tricky one. There are lots of attractions where it can save you a lot of time, but they also sell out real quick because people know that. And so if I ever use it at Hollywood Studios, I buy a service on top of lightning lane. Typically standby skipper is what I use because it's a drop in the bucket if you're paying for lightning lane multipass. It's very cheap, but it searches times for you and books them for you.
Oh wow.
So then it'll pick up reservations for you even after they have sold out. And that's the big thing at Hollywood Studios is they book up real fast. And so then you have to hope that you catch someone canceling it and you can pick it up. And why hope and constantly stare at your phone if you can pay a little more money to have someone do it for you.
Do it for you.
So you're saying
Yes.
buy Premier Pass every day of your trip?
No. Oh my gosh. I can't even. That Premier Pass is the bane of my existence. And it sells out. It has an audience, but this is
I can't fathom it.
Ew.
Can't
There's
fathom
something
it.
for right. They want a Disney experience for everyone. But I would say that Premier Pass is so expensive. You're getting awfully close to just buying a VIP tour, right? Like, isn't that going to give you more value?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess as long as you can find a group of 10 people.
10. Yes.
Which
you'll want a group of 10 people.
Give the ReedyGeeks a call. We want to try it out.
We can get one together.
That could be our research trip.
There you go. VIP tours, you can park hop, which you can't on Premier Pass. VIP tours, you can repeat attractions. If you want them to take you on Cosmic Rewind all day, they will gladly do that. You can't do that on Premier Pass. You can get seating for parades and fireworks. You can't do that on Premier Pass. They give you free snacks all day long. Can't do that on Premier Pass. So yeah, VIP tours are the way to go. If you have a big enough group, it actually makes more financial sense to do a VIP tour than to buy Premier Pass. Do Premier Pass.
Wait, so you need a certain amount of people for that?
You don't need a certain amount of people, but VIP tours are a set cost per hour, and you can have anywhere from one person to 10 people on them.
Okay,
so it makes, the per person cost is better if you've got more people on it.
So you're saying I should redo my bachelor party and do a VIP?
Sure, why not?
Actually, we probably should have, but
I think we were exactly 10.
I'm fine though with Disney creating products for every type of person. That's fine as long as they don't ruin the experience of the standby, right? And it seems like they've been doing good. They've been doing well by the standby guy. And I like that standby guy.
Standby guy. That's the average Joe. It's
the standby guy.
Average Joe of Walt Disney World. Yeah, I think we're going to see more of this as we head into future years. Disney has figured out, they have many different types of vacationers. I think we'll see more premium upcharge experiences. And I'm with you. As long as it doesn't impact the experience of the normal guest, sure, go get that money, Disney. Use it to build more rides and lands.
Yeah, exactly.
You can handle that.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job of when everyone's in the park, whether you're staying at All Star Sports or the Riviera, everyone is the same in the park. And I think that's the most important thing.
Valid point. Yes.
So, like big picture trends, is there anything you can predict about Disney World in 2026?
Fall and winter, gonna be real busy. It's the time to be there. And unfortunately, what that has created, it's real popular because there's lots of parties, because it's very festive if you're there in Halloween season or Christmas season. So everyone wants to visit in the back third of the year during these seasons. The weather's nicer, so everyone packs their vacations into this time of year. The problem that creates is Magic Kingdom is closed for so many parties that it becomes almost unnavigable for regular day guests. It's very difficult to see fireworks or parade anytime during the back half of the year at Magic Kingdom, but I don't see it changing anytime soon because Disney makes bank on those parties, so they're not going to do fewer of them. They always sell out. They might add more of them. I don't like that, but that's okay. That's absolutely a trend that's going to continue. More school districts are doing fall breaks than ever, and those are popular times to go to Disney. So that's going to be something that happens a lot, I think.
Are they ever going to get to a point where they're doing parties at Epcot too? And they're going to have parties because Hollywood Studios is Jollywood Nights now. So it is like...
Which I love Jollywood Nights. I don't think they'll do it at Epcot, and that's because Epcot is a dining destination in the evenings. You don't want to shut that down and host a party there instead.
There's too much...
I'm hoping too much revenue being lost by shutting the park down for a party there. You don't have that at Magic Kingdom because not enough people are sitting at the table service restaurants in Magic Kingdom anyway for it to make much of a difference. I hope they add more at Animal Kingdom once they get that park built up a little bit more. I hope they beef some stuff up at Hollywood Studios. Jollywood Nights is great and they improve upon it every year. That's an exciting trend. Could they add a Halloween party? I don't know, but I'd like to see what it would look like. And the Tower of Terror would be a great place to start a Halloween party, spend some
Incredible.
time there.
Yeah.
So
That would be cool.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I think other trends we're going to see, we talked about continued upcharge experiences for those who are willing to pay for them. That absolutely will still be a thing. And I think the final one we're going to see is more of the Kohl's School of Business pricing at Disney World, where we're seeing price increases. We talked about that already. We will continue to see price increases. We're also seeing huge discounts. 2025 was the cheapest year to visit Disney since 2018. It just didn't look like it based on sticker prices, but based on discounts available, it was the cheapest year since 2018. So we're going to continue to see that like perceived value, and are there people willing to pay it versus discounts to fill it up because it has been pretty empty. So that'll continue in 2026.
Yeah, I went in May. I tried to actually just dial up the same exact trip I booked, and it came up $40 cheaper after the price change.
Yeah, see? Exactly. Right.
Because they're only penalizing people that are staying off property. So I stayed at like a true touring plans warrior. I was at All Star Sports.
There you go.
You know, we had a great time. The refurbs on the All Stars are great.
Yes.
I am a value resort warrior. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really nice rooms.
The theme is so much better. Mickey playing sports is so much more timeless and cute and Disney, rather than when it was like, there's a picture of Mark McGuire on the wall. Like, no one's kids know who that guy is. Like, I know who he is. I mean, you know who he is. St. Louis.
Gosh, man, he was the guy. Yeah, totally agree. The Value Resort refurbishments were spectacular. They've made such a big difference. Those resorts are some of the nicest rooms that you can get to now. They're functional. They're easy. I booked one of my recent trips. I think it was my September trip. I booked a Priceline deal for an all-star music room because I just needed an extra place to stay. And so it was $74 for the night, I think. And I ended up in a king room that was a preferred room, steps away from the lobby. And the next night I was going to Old Key West because I had done a DVC rental there, but I was like, I don't really want to transfer. This is kind of really nice. I'll stay at All Star Music. And I would never think I would say that, but they're great.
We had a blast, me and my wife. We were, we went to All Star Sports. We also were in a king size preferred room. A little upgrade. We said it was our honeymoon, even though it wasn't our honeymoon, but we got married. We got married in January.
Boo.
So it was sort of.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're in
I think that's going to be a title.
I was in the window.
There's no honeymoon suite at the All Star Sports.
No, but there is a preferred accessible king size bed. That was the penthouse suite of the All Star Sports.
That is their version. Disney actually, their official line on celebrating your birthday at Disney, if you want a birthday button or whatever, is you can celebrate your birthday at Disney up to 6 months before your birthday and up to 6 months after your birthday, which if you do the math is every day of the year. So I have a feeling they would be okay with your celebrating your honeymoon. Within a year of getting married anyway, you're well within the window.
I mean, we still haven't really done our real honeymoon, so
yeah, it counts.
It's so funny. I never knew that about the birthdays. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
That's
funny.
a great
Just
official
celebrate.
policy.
Yeah.
Right.
This is something when I was younger, I had a tour guide book. I don't think it was the Unofficial, so I won't say the competitor name, but it was a tour book for kids by kids, right? It was written by kids. Do you think Big Kid or Little Kid is gonna write one at some point?
So interestingly, last year when I was in the thick of writing the 2026 guide, my big kid, who is now 9, she was 8 at the time, started writing her own. But she is a woman of many passions, and she got about 3 pages in and moved on to something else in her life. But they're really good little researchers, and if I put them on a task, they'll go try something and review it for me. They love doing little Instagram reviews of their favorite parts of the trip, answering people's questions. So I wouldn't rule it out because I think a by kids for kids would be spectacular. The kids chapter of the unofficial guide was the one I had to do the most work on when I first took it over. No offense to Mr. Lynn Testa, but he had farmed out that chapter for quite a few years. And among its advice, if you pick up a copy of the guide from like 2020 to 2024 or something, the kids chapter will advise you, if your kid misbehaves in the park, to leave them in the room the next day with a hired babysitter and just not let them go. And I was just like, I can't. No, we scrapped that one. But it would be even better if my own kids wrote it. So I'm hoping family business someday. Right? It was real bad.
Make sure you book a dentist appointment right after the trip ends to punish them.
Right. It was. I wouldn't have put it past that. Yeah.
Be sure you take good care of our friends.
Gosh, they're with me. What could possibly go wrong?
So something we like to do with all of our guests is what we call a Lightning McQueen round. Now, JJ likes us to emphasize that it used to be called the Rivers of America round, but then because no one liked it, we replaced it with Lightning McQueen. So just so you know,
I get that reaction all the time.
I was on Tom Sawyer Island closing day. Like, this is how much of a Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island fan I am. So yeah, it hurts me to my core. Yeah.
Our apologies.
We're not. Yeah, we're not the target demographic for either for Cars or
Correct.
For Tom Sawyer Island.
But we're more excited about Cars, I think.
More excited about a new ride than I am about what was a great interactive kids play area.
It was.
But I digress.
It's okay.
The way the round works, we are going to give you just a topic, and you say whatever comes into your mind first. That'll be your favorite, right?
Short answers. They're all favorites.
Short. Right. Got it.
Okay, so we'll go right into it. Favorite park?
Animal Kingdom. It rewards exploring, not waiting.
Wow.
I like that. Favorite ride?
Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah,
Good. Ride it all every day.
Favorite resort?
Animal Kingdom Lodge. Can't beat the theming.
Favorite transportation?
Skyliner for the win.
Yes. Favorite sit-down restaurant?
Victoria and Albert's, but that's out of reach for most people. You just can't
keep it. Keep it.
It's cute. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there we go.
That's your favorite. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite. Quick service restaurant.
This changes very frequently, just based on what I'm feeling. So I will answer for today and say Polite Pig. I love some good barbecue and drinks.
Nice.
Favorite snack?
Mickey bar. Classic. I will go do a Mickey bar in the middle of any Disney day.
Favorite bar?
Currently, this is another one where I like to drink around. Geo82. I'm a huge original Epcot Spaceship Earth nerd. The prices are ridiculous, so ignore those. But like environment to just be in and sit in, Geo82 is unmatched.
So then I think I have a feeling what this next one's going to be. Favorite drink?
Do I have to pick a specific one? Like it's an old fashioned. I drink old fashions everywhere around Disney. My most recent favorite was actually at Bourbon Steak, which I hated bourbon steak in general, but their old fashioned is a bacon washed bourbon. Oh. It was next level good.
Really?
Wow.
Better than the brown butter old fashioned.
I liked it better than the brown butter. Yes.
There's all whiskey fans on this podcast here, so you're talking.
You fit right in with the geeks.
See? I've done that bourbon flight multiple times, but it's so expensive. Anyway, so since you're also fellow fans, Bourbon Steak, really good. Enchanted Rose, they do a seasonal one that's typically really, really good. And Cake Bake. Don't eat any of the food, but at the bar...
Yeah, I heard their bar is excellent.
Really good. And their old-fashioned was spectacular. So, there you go.
I'm going to hijack for a second because I don't know how many guests we're going to have on this podcast that have eaten at Victoria and Albert's.
I have done it twice, which is insane. The very first time was on the second day after it reopened after the pandemic. And
Wow.
Lynn from Touring Plans invited me along to be part of a table of, I think there were 8 of us, to eat there after it reopened. Pam
Pretty
Brandon
nice.
was at our table. She writes all the Disney cookbooks.
Wow.
So this was spectacular. So we were there just to cover, right, this reopening. It was spectacular. This was before it had a Michelin star. It was just, they were just all excited about reopening. We got the water pairing, which was hilarious and also very mind-boggling because what? It was where I first found a love for the art of zero-proof beverages because they're not just phoned in Sprite with something mixed in.
Right.
They are chemically engineered to taste like alcoholic beverages and pair with your food when you do that at Victoria and Albert's. So that was great. So that was the first experience. It was incredible. We had a cheese course there that changed my life. I love some good cheese. And it was a bunch of Norwegian cheeses, and it was a whole Norway-inspired plate. And so we asked the chef that was responsible for that cheese plate to come out. Her name was Chef Gabby. And Chef Gabby has become a very close personal friend. And I went back and visited her when I went the second time. So the second time I brought my husband because I felt it was a little unfair for me to have gone there without him. So I brought him, I think it was for our 12th wedding anniversary. And Chef Gabby invited us back to the kitchen. This was after they had won their Michelin star. So I brought chocolates to help them celebrate. We did the whole zero-proof pairing, all of the food. What I love about Victoria and Albert's is it's fancy, but it's not like frou-frou, not here, have 8 plates of foam that taste like it's not that. It's real food, but the best prepared real food that you will ever have. Lynn has a line from our first meal there where one of the side dishes was just a blueberry, right? And you're like, it's a blueberry. He goes, it was the blueberriest blueberry that ever blueberried. It was just like, and that's what Victoria and Albert's is. And then Chef Gabby has since left, but before she left, and after they had won their Michelin star, and Israel, who is the general manager of Victoria and Albert's, won his own personal Michelin star at the same time for excellent service, which is just unheard of. It's incredible. He's an amazing man. My little kid, who is 7 now, wants to be a baker when she grows up. And so we were in Disney last October, and we just were hanging out at Fort Wilderness for that trip, not doing much park time again. And Gabby invited us to come to Victoria and Albert's before they opened for dinner service one day that weekend, because you can't go to Victoria and Albert's unless you're age 10 or older. But she knew my little kid wanted to be a baker. So she invited us in to just come. She invited the head baker for Grand Floridian to be there. Israel was there and made hot chocolate for all of us from scratch. The head chef of Citrico, Andres, was also there, and they sat there for 2 hours talking to us and answering my kids' questions.
That's incredible.
In the dining room, right? And then we got to go tour the kitchen and the wine cellars, which they let my kids in, and I was like, oh no.
Don't touch.
This is a very expensive mistake, but they're so friendly and so focused on making the experience magical, right? This is what Disney is all about. I would save money repeatedly to go eat at Victoria and Albert's because
even the most expensive thing has that Disney touch to it. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's
Very
recognized it's recognized quality even outside the Disney realm, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this was your commercial.
No,
that's great.
This is great.
Yeah, you sold me. I'm booking.
Do it.
After this, we're gonna book Victoria and Albert's
A
and a
VIP
VIP tour.
On Andrew's credit card.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Well, look at the points. He'll be all about it.
Expense that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tax deductible.
I'll pay him back eventually.
Okay, now, boys, if you just stop carrying on like, we just might dedicate this next song to y'all.
What's the best place in Walt Disney World to get some work done?
I did a lot of research about this one this summer because we were in Disney for almost 3 weeks, and I worked full time while I was there. I think a lot of it depends on your working style. if you like working in co-working places anyway, Voyager's Lounge, which is in the lobby of the Riviera Resort, is a really great place. It's like a library. It is not full, but it has other people also working there. That's what it's filled with all the time. And you have excellent food steps away. Plus, you're on the Skyliner. So when you get done with your workday, you want to pop over to Epcot. Really, really easy. Really good music loop. That's a really fun one. My sleeper hit is the lobby of Boulder Ridge Villas. This one's so far out of the way that no one else is going to be there, but it is one of my favorite lobbies on property. Very quiet, very rustic, but comfortable. Really good Wi-Fi. Again, a good
That's huge.
non-invasive music loop. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is key. And so many different seating arrangements that you could go and stay comfortable all day. Plus, you've got Geyser Point right there for your lunch option. So that was another really good one. I think those are my top two working places.
Those are great choices. I'd hang out there any day of the week.
Point.
Right. Yeah, just go to Geyser Point, get a Huckleberry Punch, and then try to work your afternoon.
So when you're on a Disney trip, not a work trip, what's your non-negotiable?
Oh, this is hard. When was the last time I took a not work trip? Gotta ride Living with the Land. I'll go with that one. I probably have other non-negotiables, but like that is just classic. I said I was a OG Epcot fan. Living with the Land is where it's at. And for me, that ride is Disney World. So I always have to do that.
I took 9 grown men on that ride.
Almost a year ago to the day. There's a picture of us.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
We did a big
like
selfie
exactly
on Living with
today.
the Land. Yeah, all like 10 or 11 of us. Yeah.
Gotta do. I have a Living with the Land T-shirt. Like,
so do I.
You can find me there always.
I think as someone that's in tune, I think our most in tune with Disney guest. If Bob Iger announced today that you're his replacement, what is one thing on day one that you would do? What's your first action as Bob Iger, the new Bob Iger, whatever his title is? What are you bringing back? What are you adding? What are you bringing back? What are you getting rid of? What are you doing?
Oh, this one is like too much pressure. I will focus on one area, and this is sort of big, but more value and moderate lodging. Like all the new lodging has been deluxe and DVC, and we're getting to the point where it is just too top heavy, and we need some more focus. Even if they just refresh some, I'm okay with that too, but I want more of the accessible on-site resorts because I think they would
I could not possibly agree more. Yeah. Give us another Pop Century.
Right.
And we'll pack it out. We'll pack it out. You know, us normal people will pack it out.
We absolutely will.
Yeah.
And then use that money we saved to buy the VIP tour.
There you go. See, we're going to spend it anyway. We'll just spend it in different ways. There's so many things that can be done in parks and dining, whatever. But yeah, let's focus on the resorts and fixing those first. Day one.
Nice. Great answer.
Wait a minute. I love that idea.
So for our main segment today, we're diving into some Disney data. And we couldn't think of a better way to do it than with Becky, whose Instagram is packed with charts, stats, and trends all about Walt Disney World. We decided to borrow a page from an economic podcast, The Indicator from Planet Money. Each of us has selected one data point from Becky's account that caught our eye, our own Disney indicator. And we're going to go around, share what we chose, and talk about how that number might tell us about your next trip to Walt Disney World and how to make it smarter. So I'm going to start off with my indicator. So my indicator is 8%. And that's the number of table service entrees that are worth your table service credit on the Disney dining plan. And that is assuming that you drink alcohol and that you chose to have a cocktail, which blows my mind. Really shows how the Disney dining plan is very difficult to make your money back even, not even to make a profit on it or for have it to be a good deal, but to actually make your money back.
I am a well-known Disney dining plan hater. I think it is ridiculous, and it is just another way that Disney trying to take your money and doing it by saying that it's more convenient for you to have all your meals prepaid for. There are other ways to prepay for your meals. Go buy yourself some Disney gift cards, save money that way. But absolutely, Disney wins all the time on the Disney dining plan. I will put one asterisk by this, and that is if you are traveling in 2026 and you are outnumbered by children in your room, there are more children than adults. Kids have the dining plan for free in 2026. So if they're going to be doing the kids dining plan for free and you are an adult who drinks a lot of alcohol because you have to in order to even break even on the Disney dining plan, then it may be worth it, but you should still do the math. Disney has set it up so that they make a lot of money on that dining plan and everyone falls for it. So
yeah, because it's not even all alcohol. You had here on your on this post that only 3% of the entrees are worth it with beer. So, like, if you're a beer drinker, you can find even less on there. I mean, that's crazy to think about. Only 3% of the entrees, and you looked at 50,000 individual menu items that you know, and only 3% of them.
Wow.
Only 3%. Like, you have to spend a ridiculous amount of money on food and drink in order for the dining plan to make sense.
Yeah.
The math doesn't math.
Yeah. So now speaking about this math, and this is especially bad, right? Because older kids don't apply to this kids eat free, right? Like that, obviously there's the 21 and up, then you can start getting alcoholic drink. But if you're between 10 and 20, you can't.
Right. No, you're not free. Yeah, you're not free in 2026. If your kid is 10, you're out of luck.
There's no dad tax workaround where dad can grab the 12-year-old's drink.
No, it's per person. Isn't that rude? Yeah. You would think they would make this work, but no. Like, if you have anyone in your party between the ages of 10 and 20, never, ever, ever do the dining plan. Just never.
Wow,
that's interesting. So, and maybe you'll know more about this. The free kids, so they added that discount onto the Disney dining plan. Do you think that was more of an attempt to get people to go to Disney World, or more of an attempt to get people to get the dining plan?
Both. Like I said, they're trying to get more young families. That's what they're really targeting. That's why they did Cool Kids Summer. That's why they're adding the animation area and Monstropolis over at Hollywood Studios, and Cars at Magic Kingdom. These are all very young kid focused things. They're very clearly targeting that. So they are trying to draw the families. And if you do have all young kids and you drink a lot, you can make it worth it. So I don't think it's all a play for money, but it is certainly a play to draw more young families who will spend money. In the parks.
So who do you think gets the dining plan? Is it just people who don't know, or is it international guests? Is it more popular with them, or?
No, I mean, yes, international guests do get it at a higher rate, but it is typically people who don't know, and they just think, if I'm prepaying for my whole vacation, I might as well prepay for my food too. They got you there. And I just saw a post about this on Facebook earlier today because I, for some reason, torture myself and join these Walt Disney World tips and tricks pages where it's terrible advice all the time. And I just am like, oh no, I can't keep up with all of it. But someone was asking, she's like, does anyone know, are gratuities included on the dining plan? Because we're going tonight to such and such. And I'm like, they're not. Even if you prepay for all your meals with the dining plan, you're paying for gratuity every meal that you have, and that's out of your pocket. So they just don't know the details. They're sold this thing that they think will help them. And they lose
much more effective to in 2 weeks when Sam's Club gives the 10% discount on the $200 e-gift cards to just stock up on those.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because then you're prepaying, you're guaranteed a discount,
right.
Discount at buying it, and you can pay your gratuities with it too. So go for it.
So I'll give my data point. My data point is 51, which we actually kind of talked about earlier briefly, but now let's dig into it a little bit. October is 51% more crowded than July of this year. Do you have some insight on why that is, but beyond it's hot?
Beyond hot in July. Yes. October, so cool right now, so hot right now, ironically. A lot of that has to do, the number one driver of crowd patterns at Disney World is school breaks. Fall breaks are increasingly popular, so you'll see the crowds spike around those long weekends. Tons of families turn the long weekends into full weeks or extended long weekends. Tons and tons and tons of families going during October because of that very reason. Also, the Halloween party, the decorations in the parks leading up to Halloween. These are a big draw for a lot of families with young kids who want to wear their costumes in the parks and go trick-or-treating. And isn't that so cute? So October is one of the most crowded months of the year because it tends to stay pretty crowded for the whole month. People think of December as crowded, which is true. The back half of it, the first half of December is practically empty, not as empty as the summer. But that makes October be very, very popular. And that's why it outpaces the hot, barren wasteland that is July.
Does food and wine and local action influence this as well, or a much less impact?
A little less of an extent, but where it does impact is locals who have annual passes. Number one, food and wine is very popular, so they are heading into Epcot quite regularly, especially on weekends and weekend evenings, particularly. But also, locals are the most likely to be impacted by the weather.
Right.
They're not going to head into the parks when it's 100 degrees outside because they can go anytime. And so that was a big deal the first weekend of October this year because that was really when the weather broke for the first time in Orlando, and locals flocked to the parks because they don't care about the crowds either. They do care about the weather. So it does have a big impact, especially whenever the weather is first very nice. They all go to the Disney World.
Yeah. Anecdotally, we kind of experienced that. I was there with Andrew and his wife the last weekend of September. Friday, I got there ahead of them. They went to work on Friday like a bunch of losers. I took the first flight out. I was in Epcot. I started my day at Geo 82 at the 11 a.m. I rope dropped Geo 82.
Yes.
A week after me.
This is the way.
And then it was not that crowded. You know, I rode Guardians at 1 p.m. and waited less than an hour. But then at 7:30 p.m., it was posted at 100-minute wait, and it was a long line. It was definitely well over an hour still. So because it was outside the building and wrapped around a thing.
Yep.
And I was like, I've been up since 3:45, so I'm not going to get one more. I'm going to head back.
Right. Not worth it at that point. But yeah, the evenings stink. This is actually a really interesting trend too. Evenings are more crowded, not only at Epcot, but also Magic Kingdom, because people are coming. If it's not a party night, they start flooding Magic Kingdom after they visit another park for the day.
They're so
to
desperate.
See the nighttime. Entertainment. So crowded nights in the fall.
Wow.
That final point of JJ's really segues perfectly into mine because my data point is 68.2, and that's the percentage of average wait time inflation by Disney. And this is so funny to me because I'm sure there's so many different reasons as to why they would lie to you a little bit, but when you see an 80-minute posted wait time, it's not. But you know what goes into the fact that they're padding it and beefing it up a little bit more than it should be.
Yeah, and this is another thing very few people know, and that's why it works for Disney. And of course, Disney gets wait times wrong in all directions. Like there are plenty of stories of people getting into line with a posted hour wait and waiting an hour and a half. That happens too, especially if things break down. But on average, right, what you'll wait is about 68% of what is posted. And so that's like 2/3 of what's actually posted. You see a 60-minute posted wait, you're probably going to wait 40 minutes. And that gets even more different the later you go at night because Disney's trying to scare you away from getting into line because they don't want to keep the park open and sweep you out and have to staff that ride even longer. So towards the end of the night, you're going to wait less than half of what's posted almost all the time.
Wow.
But they do it not just for crowd control like that. And these are practical reasons. And I'm okay with them doing that, actually, right? There is a point to that. But they also do it for psychological reasons. You're going to be much happier if you wait less than you thought you were going to.
Sure.
And if you wait more than you thought you were going to. So always err on the side of caution for happier guests. But it does make decision making harder. Like, should I get in this line before the parade? Or will I not have enough time to go get my spots? And so knowing the truth of it is very, very helpful.
When we're talking about how we use the My Disney Experience app, people, when they're thinking about their pre-selections for Lightning Lanes, people are looking at the My Disney Experience app, the time of day they want to go, the days they're going to think, oh, well, this is on a Monday. We're going in 6 weeks, and on a Monday, it's a 30-minute wait for this. And it makes them maybe say, well, maybe we don't need to buy a Lightning Lane for it at this time. Maybe we don't need to do this. Maybe we don't need to plan a certain way. And they're seeing the potentially inflated ride time, which is probably helping their cause, because it means that they'll be waiting a little less potentially. But
yeah, interestingly, there were several. Touring Plans was approached by lawyers asking if we wanted to participate in a lawsuit against Disney because they were trying to prove that Disney was inflating posted wait times to get more people to buy Lightning Lane. And you do see, we've actually seen it become less of a problem recently, and maybe it's part of that legal pressure because it was coming from kind of all around. It was coming at Disney, but they're trying. There's reasons that it's inflated, and they're not doing it so much as they used to. So I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
The thing that I thought was most interesting about this point was you gave 3 examples of rides that I think had the biggest disparity of like the posted wait time and the actual wait time. And number 1 was Buzz Lightyear's Space Rangers. Number 2 was Tiana, and number 3 was the People Mover. Of all rides, the People Mover. But I thought what was interesting was 2 of those 3 rides are Omni Mover rides. Those are constantly moving rides. Tiana is a fairly new ride, so maybe they're expecting a little more downtime because maybe there's a little more unknown. But the Omni Mover rides, you can't really predict when you're going to need to stop it. You can't really predict when you're going to need to halt the ride for someone to get on or off, or someone needs assistance. And whenever there's 30 seconds of ride downtime, there's a chain reaction that goes throughout the entire queue. Do you think that's something they're taking into consideration too, that they're kind of padding the fact that you're going to wait a little long because we're going to have to stop this ride?
Absolutely, that's part of it. They take reliability and downtime into the equation for sure. But also, specifically for those 2 examples, Buzz Lightyear and People Mover, those 2 attractions have very small queues relative to their popularity, especially at certain times of day. And so Disney is more incentivized to scare people away rather than invite people into those lines because they can spill out really quickly. And then those 2 actually spill out onto each other, and then it totally tangles up Tomorrowland.
They're literally back to back. That's funny that you think about that.
Yeah. So they're being careful and trying not to get more people to get into the lines.
Well, here's a good plug for Touring Plans because that's really the only app I use when I'm down there for looking at wait times. Touring Plans uses historical data, but also, as you were saying before, real-time data, like me and my wife submitting wait times of how long we waited.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll in the Touring Plans app, you'll see the posted wait time, but you'll also see the predicted actual wait time, and that's based on historical math for years and years and years, but it's also based on whatever anyone has put recently that they've waited, and so it gives you a little bit more of that insight. You can do the 2/3 math yourself and be generally right, but that'll give you even more accuracy.
The one thing
I remember, 10, 15 years ago, I would get so excited when I would get in line. They'd give me the red card, and I would be the wait time guinea pig. Yes. Everyone's going to know how long it is based on my experience on this
because
line.
Of you.
Because of me.
Right.
They don't do that anymore, though. They got sensors everywhere.
They're fancier now.
With this topic too, just like 2 weeks ago, a coworker came up to me and was talking about Disney. She knows I have this podcast, and she was complaining about, just like, oh, how expensive it is. And I'm like, yes, obviously it's expensive. But then she's going into, and if you want to go on any of the rides, now you have to pay. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. And I think that, sometimes these inflated wait times, though, push people to be a little like you can look at, as we were saying before, you can look at it from New York weeks before your trip or months before your trip, and to see what the wait times are going to be. And oh my God, I'm going to need to get lightning lanes. I don't want to wait on this line because no one can wait anymore, Right. So I have a little gripe to here with Disney for this, because I think it's making them seem like they're way more expensive than they are. Just because this pushes people more towards lightning lanes.
Paying their way out of those. Pay your way out of the lines, even if you don't really need to. Yeah.
Also, kids are up early and ready to roll early. Like, roll into the park early.
Amen.
And use that rope drop to your advantage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Rope drop is the way to do it.
One of we can call it our honorary data point, but one of the data points we were going back and forth of whether to choose was 2.5. You had on your on one of your data dumps there. 2.5 hours is what you can save by rope dropping, and that's insane. 2.5 hours on waiting online.
Yeah, in lines. Yes,
Yeah.
is typically how much you save just by showing up for early entry. And people don't like to wake up early on vacation, and that's why it works. Because we can say this all we want. People still won't want to wake up early on vacation. More power to them. But if you can wake up early, it is the time to be in the parks for sure.
My siestas are getting shorter and shorter.
My data point is 50. Really, it's over 50. That's because over 50% of preschoolers who visit Walt Disney World list their resort pool as their favorite attraction of their vacation. Now, when I say this data point, I usually get one of two reactions from parents. One is, well, why am I spending money to take them to the parks if they're just going to enjoy the pool? But I encourage the second reaction, which is, yes, you can plan. Yes, everything can go wrong, and it won't matter because your preschoolers will still love their trip no matter what you do, even if you just end up at the pool every day. Like, take the stress out of the equation. You are making a great vacation for your kids just by going.
Like I said, I was just there last month with my nephew. He'll be 3 next month, and we stayed at Saratoga Springs. We went to the big pool in the paddock area. He loved the slides, the big bucket of water that comes and dumps down on you.
And we see this sort of repeated in other data points too. Like at the Magic Kingdom, preschoolers rate the Adventure Friends Cavalcade higher than the Festival of Fantasy Parade. The Adventure Friends Cavalcade is nothing. It's some characters on one float that just sort of like it's there and then it's not. Festival of Fantasy is this huge production, but you have to wait for the Festival of Fantasy. You have to get your spot. You have to wait for it to come. That's not what preschoolers want to do.
No one wants to wait.
You just walk up and a bunch of characters walk past. Like, that's cool. That's wonderful. And so the lines are not a preschooler's fan. It's going to the pool. It's riding the monorail.
Right.
It's exploring Tom Sawyer Island. Dadgummit. It's all of these things that the rest of us take for granted.
In our one of our episodes was like our favorite shows, and I picked the Cavalcades. I love the Cavalcades. Yeah. They just show up randomly. Now they tell you when it first happened during COVID, it was that it literally was random. You had no idea when it was going to be, but now you know. But still, it's cool.
Now they're scheduled, but less pressure.
I'd like to defend children's opinions on pools as well. Like, there is something special about the going to Disney and having the resort day or the resort afternoon, even, where you take the break from the peak of the day, you rope drop, you leave, you go to the pool, and then you come back for the fireworks.
Can I suggest Geyser Point?
Well, I mean, kids love being outside watching you drink beers.
Well, there's a reason my favorite resort on Disney property is Port Orleans French Quarter. The first actual Disney trip I ever took in my life, my parents and my grandparents, we stayed there, and I loved the serpent tongue slide.
Yes.
It is a vivid memory that I had, just going up it, like literally for an hour, just up and down that slide. And those are the things you remember when you're a kid. You remember the pool. You remember the arcade. It's stupid things like that.
Yes.
That's what you remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the pressure off. No pressure, parents. Just your kids are gonna have a great time no matter what you do.
This has been a wild ride. I know we're past time, but I would like to clear it with everybody. We're okay to play a game?
We got time.
We're okay.
We got time.
Let's
All
play.
right.
Let's play.
So considering that we have both a data and rope drop expert with us today, I wanted to introduce a brand new segment. I'm calling it the Rope Drop Face-Off. Each of the three geeks are actually going to make our own rope drop plan, and Becky is going to judge us, and we'll judge our rope drop plan and with the data to back it up. So whose rope drop has what it takes to win? So I'm not going to be the judge this game. I'm actually playing along with you guys.
You never get to play games.
I only get to play the full group.
JJ gets to play.
This is a game that I get to play.
Yay.
So we're all going to give our rope drop plans for Hollywood Studios. We're going to be assuming that we're doing a true rope drop, which means that we're arriving to the park early enough to be among the first group of people on our first ride selection. And then from there, Becky has some data to judge our plans and select which one of us will reign supreme and win the rope drop face-off. Okay? Okay, great.
Let's do this. I judged this on 2 different metrics, and so we'll talk about those before we get into real results.
Okay.
So first I calculated how much time, and I used an average day at Hollywood Studios. In fact, I used this Friday, which is predicted to be a crowd level 5 out of 10. Very average. Your results would vary if it was very uncrowded or very crowded, so I just decided to go with the middle. I calculated, based on the attractions and the orders that you all gave me, how much time people would wait for those 5 attractions. You each did 5 attractions. I also did an optimized version of your 5 attractions at rope drop to see how far off you were from optimized. And then I did an average wait time, and this would be for a family that's arriving slightly later in the day and then is doing all 5 of these attractions. So I compared you to ideal and to average.
Wow. I love having data experts on this show.
This is so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Really excited.
Okay, so before we get the data in, let's all each give our rope drop plans for the listeners so that they can hear our order. Andrew, let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm going to start my day off at Rise of the Resistance. I feel like you got to go straight there. That's going to be the big one of the day. Although now with inversion, wait time inversion, I don't know. Anyway, my second one is going to be Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Then I'm heading down to Sunset Boulevard with Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster right next door, and I'm going to end it with Toy Story Mania.
Oh, you're not doing much zigging and zagging. That was a nice clean line.
Yeah. I went straight down and then back up.
Okay, Sean, let's hear your plan.
So my plan is in the attempt to go the opposite way of the rope dropping crowd and immediately get on Rock and Roller Coaster, followed by Tower of Terror, and then head over to Slinky Dog, and then jump on Rise at that point would be the standby line of Rise of the Resistance, and then head over to Minnie and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
You also went in a fairly circuitous, like a nice path.
Yeah.
If only you could get from Sunset to Toy Story Land. That would be...
Yeah, if only there was like a few less offices. You could get right to Rock and Roller Coaster right from that animation courtyard.
We need a Skyliner in the park.
Oh, like they used to have in Magic Kingdom.
Like they used to have in Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
The buckets.
Yeah.
Okay. And then to round it out, I'll give you my plan. We're going to start at Rise of the Resistance. So me and Andrew are right next to each other, but then we will part. I'm going to Smuggler's Run second. Then I'm bouncing all the way to the other side of the park. And I'm going to Rockin' Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, and I'm ending at Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway. This way, when I leave, I'll be able to head over to the Tune-In Lounge and celebrate my successful rope drop.
Nice.
Perfect.
All right. Now we reveal results. I'm going to go in the same order that you went in, so as not to give anything away. So, Andrew, your plan on an average Hollywood Studios day would have your group waiting for 135 minutes for your 5 attractions.
Oh, no.
That's only 2 hours.
I can't see your reactions. That's 5 really popular attractions.
That's only 2 hours. That's pretty good.
Oh, all right. It sounds like a lot.
So it sounds like a lot. Okay, so let's compare it to average first. So the average family doesn't even show up to the park till 10 o'clock. If they do those same 5 attractions, even not necessarily in that order, in like the optimized order at 10 a.m., they're waiting 261 minutes. So you saved your family 126 minutes with your plan and showing up early compared to average.
2 hours.
So over 2 hours.
You hear that, Emily? I know you're listening. I saved you 126 minutes.
Surely that's worth something. So if we optimized your plan and kept those same 5 attractions, but maybe did them in a slightly different order, we can get that down. Your 135 minutes, we can get it down to 126 minutes would be the very optimized way to do it, which is not that far off from what you did. The optimized plan does still start at Rise of the Resistance, but it bops to Toy Story Mania next. Toy Story Mania sees its wait times increase very rapidly because a lot of people start at Slinky and then do Toy Story next. So if you can do Rise first and beat that crowd to Toy Story Mania, you're doing better. Then it goes to Runaway Railway before finishing on Sunset Boulevard because that's where wait times increase the slowest throughout the park. But again, doing it in not that order only cost you 9 minutes. That's not a huge amount. So pretty good results right off the bat. Yay. Props.
All right.
Okay.
Nice job.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Starting off real
feeling
strong.
better.
Oh my gosh.
I am.
Feeling better about your
feeling better.
135 minutes. Okay. Next, we're going to go with Sean's list. You're the only one that included Slinky, so good on you for even attempting that. Everyone else stayed far away. Your 5 attractions in the order that you planned them would take 171 minutes to wait at. But again, no one else included Slinky, so this is not necessarily a terrible thing. The average...
I'm a risk taker.
You're a risk taker. It's more realistic. People want to ride Slinky, so it does happen. Average family doing your list of 5 attractions would wait for 266 minutes. So you saved 95 minutes compared to average. Not quite as much as Andrew, but still over an hour and a half. So that is good. If we optimized your 5 attractions, instead of 171 minutes, we could do them in 131 minutes by doing them in a slightly different order. In your case, we would start at Slinky, because if we're at the very front of the pack, start at Slinky. If you're at the front of the pack, that line builds so quickly. You're going to save yourself almost an hour just by starting there. Then you're going to go to Runaway Railway before going over to Sunset Boulevard. And yours actually ends at Rise of the Resistance, because by the time you've waited for Slinky, Rise is already a long wait anyway.
Right.
So take advantage of all the other low waits before you go over to Rise.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
So
interesting.
you're
one.
telling me
Trying
I
to do
beat
Slinky
Sean
is
at
hard.
least. There we go.
You beat Sean. So far, you are in the
He's
lead.
the pole position.
We'll see. It's the pole position. You had him go first. I didn't decide. Okay. Our last result. JJ, the only one that did Falcon, so you're doing the full Star Wars experience. As planned, your 5 attractions would require 138 minutes of waiting.
Okay.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
That wasn't too shabby. The average family to do those 5 attractions more in the middle of the day would be 258 minutes, which means you saved 120 minutes. ever so slightly below what Andrew
Wow.
saved his family, but really, really close.
Well, we still saved 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was a valiant effort.
Compared to optimized, you were also really close there. The optimized plan for your 5 attractions would require 124 minutes of waiting, so you were only 14 minutes off of the optimal. Optimal for yours, actually, you hit Falcon before Rise, and then go to Runaway Railway and end at Sunset.
Right. You would never think that. You would probably never think to do that.
Yeah.
The
You would
inversion.
probably never think that, but it does. In that one case, it just happens to work this way. It's fine. I also should say, we didn't say at the rules at the beginning. We're assuming all the attractions are running very smoothly.
Are running, right.
And that's a big assumption at Hollywood Studios.
At Hollywood Studios,
Rise
yeah,
is down all the time. So,
Yeah.
but it as stated as the rules, Andrew is the winner compared to average
Wow.
and optimized.
All right. I was
By a hair.
Man, I was not expecting that. When you said 135, I was like, "Oh my god, so much waiting!"
Everything has long waits.
Get me some
at
lightning
Hollywood
lanes.
Studios.
Get me
Andrew
lightning
hates
lanes.
waiting in line. Right. Andrew hates waiting in line. Oh.
Andrew's
that
rope
bad.
drop plan is lightning lane multipass.
Yes, I mean that's okay too. That's cheating. But
It's
Yeah.
funny that
Yay,
you said that
congratulations.
you were. It's funny that you said you were comparing it to like a family that enters at like 10, because like I am these two guys here are big rope droppers. I'm just notoriously not a rope dropper. I like to just kind of like hang out, get in the park. It's like my wild card is I'm gonna show up at 1:00 in the afternoon and still get on all the rides that I want to get on. So what's my
Yeah.
time gonna be? But you know, I'll play the game. But I'm
A
a
little
big
longer.
fan of a little longer, a little bit.
a little bit. Actually, wait times drop again in the evening. So as
Right.
long as you stay up late
See?
enough, then
Yeah,
you can make
I'll
something
rather
up.
close the park than open the park. Yeah.
Get it.
Wow, this was great. Thank you for
Yeah.
analyzing our picks. This is not to make you work, but if we have you on again, if you're willing to come on again ever, I definitely want to play this game again.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's pick a different park. Now that you've learned, pick a different park and let's get at it again.
It would probably have to be Magic Kingdom, but that's a whole new slew of
Yeah.
rules because only part of the park opens early.
Right.
Right. And can you do double rope drop?
Right. Yes. Can you
Tomorrowland and
hit right?
Inflates,
Ooh.
see?
Yeah.
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 Strategy.
We'll have to test it out.
There you go.
You think I'm a brand new kid? Because you have a wonderful imagination.
Well, it brings us to the end of the episode, but before you go, listen to what we are giving away on Instagram. This is going to be an Instagram giveaway with Raising Mini-Me's. That's Becky here. The grand prize is an unofficial guide to Walt Disney World copy of 2026 and a yearly touring plan subscription to Walt Disney World. So two great things that will help you plan your next trip to Walt Disney World in 2026. To be eligible, you have to be 18 years of age and located in the continental United States. The giveaway will go between when this episode drops on November 11th until November 17th, one full week. And here's how to enter. So make sure to follow us at ReedyGeeks, follow Raising Mini-Me's, follow Becky at Raising Mini-Me's, like the giveaway post, and comment and mention someone in your comment who you think would enjoy the podcast or enjoy Disney data. The winner will be announced on Tuesday, November 19th. So, and of course, this contest is not supported or endorsed or administered by Instagram or Disney in any way.
Yet.
I love that.
Unofficial. Unofficial.
Yet.
Yeah, unofficial guide. Yeah, but Disney is going to endorse that.
Never.
I don't know. I gotta say, just for touring plans, as a little plug here. When I first got them, I think it was 2018. I first signed up, and I was like, "Oh, it was $14." I was just gonna sign up real, and then that's it. No, I had to keep it. And
It's addictive.
I've been a subscriber since. Yeah, the amount of data you get from there, the room request feature
Yes.
is amazing.
Yes.
It is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
That pays for itself.
Yes. And if you don't know what that is, Touring Plans will send Disney a room request. You get to pick the room on their website using their room finder, and you see the view. You see the view that all the rooms have. They have pictures on there, which is great. They can't obviously they can't make sure that Disney reads it or honors the request, but that gets sent to Disney. And I've had really good results with it. Maybe not getting the exact room I wanted, but I'm getting in the ballpark. And, definitely I wouldn't have gotten there without it. So I really like that. The reservation finder, the dining reservation finder is great on Touring Plans too. So we're a big fan of that here. But.
Yeah. The room thing is amazing. If you're someone that, I want to prioritize being close to this certain amenity. Well, how do I make sure if I'm staying at Caribbean Beach that I'm staying close to the Skyliner, right? Or staying close to the pool. If you're going to have a resort day, maybe you want to be close to the pool. Well, Touring Plans has the information there. You'll know exactly what 4 rooms are the best ones for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and we've got the data says about 2/3 of those room requests are honored by Disney, at least as much as they can, and you increase your chances by telling them why that's the room. So you can click on the room that you want to request, you can configure your request, and so if you tell them why you like that room, you're much more likely to your point, Andrew, get in the ballpark of why you wanted that room. My favorite room request to make is that Animal Kingdom Lodge, because it's my favorite. Typically, the difference between a Savannah-facing room and a standard room is several $100s a night. But there are plenty of rooms that if you look at the pictures, there are animals outside of your room, but it's a standard room, and I'll always request those types of room. There are plenty of them, and I usually get what I want.
What do you put in as the reason? It's like, because this is a cheaper room, but I'm getting the higher amenity?
Well, yeah, it's essentially like, yes, I want animals outside my room. No, typically you'll find, and when you use the tool, you can figure this out. You'll be like, I want to be close to the lobby, but facing south. And if you look at all those rooms on the tool, all the ones that are close to the lobby but facing south happen to be facing a Savannah, but aren't done like. I also used this at Wilderness Lodge for our last weekend trip. I used the room request tool, and all I requested was a north-facing room, because if you're at club level, you're at the highest floor anyway, and club level rooms are all the same price. Doesn't matter the view you get. So unlike other regular rooms, there's not different prices for different views. You're just paying to be in club level. So you could get a club level room that faces south, and then you're facing the pool, which, fine, not really the most relaxing weekend with the pool right outside the window. If you're facing north, you get a gorgeous view of Magic Kingdom, Cinderella Castle, Space Mountain. So all I put in there was north-facing room, and got the most beautiful resort view I've ever had in my life. So it works.
Wow.
That's
Go
amazing.
ahead and use it.
Yeah. Well, and as also a plug for your Instagram account, I mean, I think it's got to be my most shared Instagram account, like that I've shared out to my friends and family. What you're doing is God's work on there.
He is a friend of ours for our. He is a data and analytically driven person, and any kind of numbers. He loves research. He loves data.
Yeah.
So it is. He'll just start a conversation out of nowhere, just like, oh, this and this with Disney with the numbers. It's like, where did you get this from? Yeah. That's his bread and butter.
I got it from Becky.
Disney data.
This is great. I love the Instagram page because, like we talked about at the beginning, books really thoroughly researched, very easily out of date, very quickly. What the Instagram page allows me to do is stay real time. I post 4 times a week, very reliably, and get to do the most up to date data. So it's a good pairing along with the book to have the thoroughness of the book and then the quick hit real time of the Instagram.
And where could we find you, Becky, on the Instagram? The Instagram.
Instagram. You can find me at the Instagram. You can find me on the Instagram at Raising Mini Me's. Mini spelled like Minnie Mouse, not miniature. Raising Mini Me's is my Instagram account.
That's great. Thank you so much for being on. Is there anything
else?
This was of course,
fantastic.
Buy Touring Plans.
Buy the book. Buy the book.
Yeah.
Buy the book.
Buy the book.
Go get that
Buy the
book.
book. Get a subscription to Touring Plans. Do all of that. It's going to help you. And
Becky's working on the audiobook next.
I don't know if I have the voice for audiobooks or the time, but yeah, maybe some retirement gig.
Becky, thank you so much for being on the episode and sharing all of this data and doing all this research just for the love of the game and for
right, yeah, that's really what it is.
and just because you know that it helps families out, and Touring Plans has helped my family, like my, even from when I was not that young of a kid, because the Unofficial Guide's a little newer, but since it began, the Unofficial Guide has kind of been a staple of my family planning their trips. Thank you for the work that you guys do, and we're really glad that we were able to have you this week.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. No one can tell, but I've been grinning the entire time. This is a great way to just geek out and have fun.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Geek out. Optimal word there. Yeah. Geek,
yes.
So. And we hope to have you on again and talk some more.
Absolutely. Literally anytime.
Great. Thank you so much.
To come back.
All right, Sean, want to take us out?
Thanks for listening to another episode of the ReedyGeeks podcast. Like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Any questions, comments, concerns, future titles, or topic ideas, email us at reedygeeks@gmail.com and check us out on all our socials at ReedyGeeks. We'll see you next time.
Well, it wasn't funny, but it made up for it by being super long.
This week's Honest Send-Off comes courtesy of John from Florida. If you have an honest send-off that you want played at the end of one of our episodes, please submit an audio clip to us via our email address, reedygeeks@gmail.com. ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast, is hosted and executive produced by Andrew Shopey, Sean Murphy, and JJ Hefner. Music and audio engineering by JJ Hefner.
Bon voyage!